I almost made it all the way. New Year, same problem. Can't remember my clicker. Are you going to come up? All right. Oh, New Year's Day. Who stayed up till midnight? Anybody? A couple of you? Okay. You watched the Ohio State team lose? Oh, what a bunch of bums, right? Whoever cheers for them is a loser. Anyway, all right. So good morning. We always know it's a little thin on New Year's Day, Sunday. You guys stay up late. You guys don't want to wake up more than normal. That's all right. A lot of people still out of town, but we got some announcements we need you to know about coming up. Go ahead. You do the first one.
Middle school boys, 10 Commandments Bible study. I think it's on a Monday. I'm not sure when it starts, though.
Yeah, so Shane, what is it? 9th. So the national champion, nobody's going to watch that game now the Buckeyes are out. So, so on January 9th starts up. The sheets are still back there, right? QR code works. You can scan it. Yep, they're right there on the soundboard. So middle school boys, you guys going through the 10 Commandments, January 9th. Middle school girls, I saw that there was one January 2nd. Are you guys doing that the 2nd? Okay, so you guys are back at it January, so not tomorrow. So middle school girls tomorrow. And then I didn't see anything. The slide on the high school girls wasn't up to date. There was no new on it, so I left that out. When are you guys starting back up? So next Monday for the high school girls. And so we'll get you a sheet next week for that. Sorry, I'm totally. You can play. You can do the game. I know all the information. You can do the game. So this is Pastor Dirk just got a call from JR in Peru. He says it's a go. Let's go to Peru for the high school mission trip. We have our first planning meeting, and I know it's next week. And you're like, man, Dwight, that's really last minute. We just found this stuff out, but the fact that July is going to be here really soon. We want to start meeting. So we have an information meeting, the first one, January 8th. So next Sunday during the third service. So right after this service, the important part of this is we can't take anybody or we don't take anybody out of the country unless you're 16 or over. So if you are 16 by July, you can go on this mission trip. 16 by July, there's a lot of red tape if you're under 16 with like human trafficking and weird stuff like that. So we just, we avoid all that, and everybody will get a chance when you're 16 or over to go on an international mission trip. This year it is to Peru for those that are 16 or over by July. So let us know. First meeting next Sunday right here after this service. Please have your parents show up because there's always a lot of questions. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Clear as mud. All right, you can take this one. Oh, because there's no more. Oh, crew. Not this week. You go to crew. Not this week, but next week we'll start back up. There's no slide for crew because this week we're not starting. Next Wednesday we'll start back up. Yes? Man, everybody's not awake today. All right, go ahead.
True or false? 2022 edition, people or events?
All right, so it's simple. Did this happen in 2022? Is it true or false? These phrases, did it happen in 2022? Andrew, you might need to cover up part of those answers because they're like right at the beginning, but you can kind of still see the top. Maybe take a paper and cover them. Because I know those boys in the back like to hover in the back and look at the screen. I'm watching you. So use one of the Bible study papers and just cover that up a little bit so we don't have those New Year's cheaters happening. So go ahead.
Did the alleged event actually take place in 2022? What do you think? True or false? Nintendo announced that the Me on Mario's hat stands for Meteoroid. True or false?
So, you'll have to stand up. Your false side because that's where it is on the screen. I'll be true side unless you want to switch. All right. Did Nintendo announce in 2022 that the M on Mario's hat stands for Metroid, as in the video game Metroid Prime? What do you think? You play video games, don't you? Only when there's a boy that you know that plays. All right, so no looking it up. All right. So we got 3 that think it's. Everybody else thinks it's false. It was originally meant to be a nod to the game about another game, July 2022. Yeah, they're trying to get out and then end up staying in. Maybe we'll have to go twice. I don't know. So, all right, I got 3 left. What? I don't know. They didn't announce that one. They only announced Mario. Do you know what Mario's last name is? It's Mario. His name is literally Mario. Yeah. They announced that 2 years ago. All right, rich guy Elon Musk famously bought Twitter for $44 million. True or false? $44 million. He says it's more than that. You're staying. Oh, they're strategizing. They're allowed to. They got people in. That's okay with me if you're going to strategize. All right, 3, 2, 1. False. It was actually 44 billion. Who has that? Like, seriously, that's so much fun money. Wait, hold on. Did you win? Is that? Yeah, okay, so you won. Danny, I don't have a present right now, but I promise you, because I forgot it, that I will. I promise you that you can. I'll get you something real nice, Clark. All right. So, do you want to do it again? Or are you guys like so tired that you want to try again? All right. So, all right. Stand up. Go ahead.
Justin Timberlake revealed that for 20 years he's relied on reading lips due to hearing loss from music. True or false?
Was that Mr. Timberlake? Who thinks Justin Timberlake's super dreamy? Okay, there's a couple of you. Who thinks he's super old? I like how all the ladies in the back are like, this is not old. He's still dreamy. All right, and then I've still got it too. All right, go ahead. Oh, you don't have the clicker. I do.
False.
The Foo Fighters, David Grohl, shared that playing music for decades has caused his hearing loss. February 2022. Justin Timberlake's doing just fine. He can hear you.
A Texan woman bought a Roman relic from the historical time of Christ at Goodwill. True or false?
It's Texas. It's Texas. Why would there be a Roman statue there? God bless Texas. With his own hands, drop down angels from a prime. Huh? Jesus was not born in Texas. I am certain of that. 3, 2, 1. She only spent $35 for it. Later discovered it was a priceless artifact. And she donated it to the museum. It was literally priceless. She could have made billions. But she found it for $35 at Goodwill. Who knows what you're going to find at Goodwill these days? No, she donated to a museum, I think. I'm pretty sure she donated it. I don't know. She did put in a seatbelt. Oh, she really liked it. She enjoyed her.
An R2-D2 droid worth $10,000 was taken by a man hoping to get a job at the Disney hotel he was at. True or false?
True or false? $10,000 R2-D2. All of these sound somewhat legitimate. I like how these guys are, like, none of you guys are scheming. You're still, like, the guys are all going, hey, you go over here. The girls are like, chicks stick together. Whatever. I'll just sit down. The people in Florida are crazy. 3, 2, 1. True. The man said he was hoping to show the weakness and the security of the Disney resort. Instead, he was arrested and sentenced to multiple years in jail. So, yeah, there you go.
The last city of Atlantis was finally found when a drought caused the city to gradually be seen. True or false?
What do you think? You think it's false? She's going to stay. All right. Like, you watch the news. That's the first and foremost. Like, 3, 2, 1. It was a big thing. It just wasn't Atlantis. It was an ancient city, 3,400-year-old city. It emerged in Iraq after a drought dropped the water levels of the local reservoir. They did find a city. It just was not Atlantis.
Taylor Swift in 1 week broke more than 70 worldwide records. True or false?
The key word is 70. 70. Was it 70? But 70. That's the key word in this one. It's Taylor Swift. She can do anything she wants. All right. It is true. Her album had the top 10 songs in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. Pretty amazing.
A suspected car thief tried to escape from police by hiding inside a 5-foot teddy bear. True or false?
It's the details you're going to get. Huh? I'm not here to give you insight. I'm here to just tell you what the question is. This is not a debate. Was it 6 foot tall or 3 foot tall? I don't know. Was it on somebody's bed? I don't know. You ever heard that comedian that the wife, he gets a text, it's like, hey, Susie got an accident, we need to pray for him. She's like, what do you, like, were the kids in the car? I don't know. Susie was in an accident, we just need to pray for him. Well, which hospital do you go? I don't know. I just got a text that says Susie. That's this whole situation right here. I don't know. That's the question. Choose a side. There's a whole group of ladies doing this to me. I got nasal congestion going on. All right, you guys all staying? Good, it was true. It was one of those big bears, and he ran away and jumped in. Yeah, so I think that might be the. Nope, I got.
A restaurant staff came dressed as Teenage Mutant Turtles. Yeah, came to the rescue.
Abigail stayed up way too late last night. Came to the rescue of a woman. True or false? My mic doesn't have as much low in it as yours does. Oh, we're split? We're splitting? All right, 3, 2, 1. It was not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were dressed as the Power Rangers. You obviously haven't seen the Power Rangers. It makes a difference. What is wrong with you?
Cities in California offered to pay residents to get rid of their lawn. True or false?
If you're all wrong, I'm not giving out any prizes. Just saying. 3, 2, 1. It is true. In an effort to reduce water usage, they encourage people to instead have drought-friendly plant alternatives, like rocks and things that, like plants that don't die, I guess.
The Mona Lisa suddenly had pie all over it when a man dressed up as an old woman surprisingly attacked it.
I like how you're bold. I like your boldness. I appreciate that in you. 3, 2, 1. Well, you are. Yeah, it was attacked, but it was cake. It was cake.
A man
yeah,
in a water.
Soup, but that was a Van Gogh. Wrong one. Yeah.
A man in a watermelon boat paddled 38 miles down the Missouri.
That's the Mississippi, right?
No, Missouri River to beat a world record. True or false?
Missouri? Missouri? How do you guys say it? Missouri? Missouri. All right, I don't judge you. Missouri? Yeah, all right. I don't judge you. All right, what do you think? She's saying true, you're sticking to your guns with false? This is the last question I got. So, actually, I think there's one tiebreaker. You going to stay? All right, so we're going to have a winner. Congratulations to you. It was a pumpkin. He's drinking. Oh, we should change that slide. He's got his burr in his hand. That's weird. Hold on. I think it was I have no idea, but he definitely just spent 11 hours in a pumpkin. I don't know. So another man broke a different world record by clapping his hands 1,140 times in 1 minute. True or false? That is not impossible. It is true. It is true. A 20-year-old clocked at around 19 claps per second and beat the previous record by 37 claps in 1 minute. Everybody now suddenly is like this, trying to like, is that how they do it? So weird. A lottery winner wore a costume to keep his family from knowing about him winning the jackpot prize. That was true. He didn't want his kids to hear about it and started acting superior to others, so he literally wore a costume so that his family didn't find out he was rich. That's funny. A New Hampshire building was transformed to look like Donkey Kong game layout. True or false? That really did happen. That is so awesome. So, all right, praise and worship team, come on up. Oh, yeah. I guess what? It's a new semester, so we got to dump them all back in. Oh, so we'll start again. Is this the pull one? All right, so dump them all back in. This is going to take forever because there's like 12 of you guys here. All right, go fast. Everybody knows their number. 3. You have 3? Oh, on the first, what? She's right. All right, first pull. High five. Good job. That didn't take forever. All right, we'll get everybody a prize next week. I was lazy this week. I promise you I will get you something next week. I was lazy. Okay, bye. All right, guys. Stand and worship. Come on, Mike.
Without hope, without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your love. Fulfilled the law and prophets. To a virgin came the word. From a throne of endless glory to a cradle in the dirt. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King. To reveal the kingdom coming and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation. You did not despise the cross, for even in your suffering you saw to the other side, knowing this was our salvation. Jesus for us taken out. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King. the Father of the church of Christ was born, then the seed beneath the flame. His gospel to the Lord shall not be His blood, His name, in His freedom I am free. The love of Jesus Christ, who is risen. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King. Praise forever to the King of Your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. Lord is finished, life is written, in Jesus Christ I live in. Could fathom such boundless grace. Ages, glory to where I stand and bear my shame. The cross has spoken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own. Beautiful Savior, I'm yours forever. In Jesus Christ, hallelujah. Praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah. Death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Morning, I see the promise. Your very body began to breathe out of the silence. Your this with me. And all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am in, oh, I will sing goodness. And all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing the goodness of God. Let's pray, guys. God, we just thank you today for the chance to come out and worship you together as a church family and just as a body of Christ. God, we thank you for this another year, and God, we thank you for this new year and just a chance to start fresh. And God, we just pray your blessing over this year, over these teenagers and over the small group leaders, and God, just over this youth group in this church. Just continue to help us do your work, your will, and just be with us throughout this year. As things may get tough, things may be easy, but just go through us with it all. In your name, amen.
You would go there. Troublemaker. Am I on? Hello. Slide me up a little bit. Just a little bit. All the way at the end. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. We were in the playoffs. When was the last time you guys did that? Never. Maybe when they expand, you'll make it in. You got to beat a team, though, like a ranked team. Anyway, sorry. We're just nudging each other. So bring me back just a little bit. That was way too high. All right, there you go. All right, I think we're good. Good morning. I see yawns. Perfect. Thank you for leading into my sermon series. It's not even a series. I want to just say Happy New Year to everybody. I know you guys are tired. I know that some of you guys are like, oh, my parents made me come. But I want to be honest with you just for this week. Like most weeks I'm honest with you, but I want to be vulnerable a little bit. This is probably for me one of the hardest Sundays to get ready for. Yes, Ohio State lost and it made me sad and I stayed up way too late. And so I'm already tired coming into it. Church staff, we work super hard during the Christmas season. I mean, we're putting in way more hours than we normally would. There's a lot of people that are grieving. There's a lot of people that have needs. There's all kinds of events and activities, and we go hard during the Christmas season. And then, because I don't get to go to, Christmas family parties because we have so much going on, we go to Ohio. So I left and went to Ohio. So that's a long trip. Does anybody, go on long trips? When you come back, you need, a vacation from your vacation? You're like, oh, my gosh, that's so much. So there's that. And then I kind of got the boogery stuff going on. And so every year, and then there's always that, it's like at Christmas and Easter, we talk about the same thing, right? Jesus born and Jesus died on the cross, saved us from sins, right? New Year's, it's always the New Year's resolution or it's something that involves that, right? And so for me, it's always hard to try to think of how do we creatively do this? And so this week, I struggled with that a little bit. I sat down on my computer and it was just all blah. You ever get to school and you want to do well, but you're just like, I got nothing right now. And so when I was sitting down writing this, I kind of ran into that a little bit this week. I'm like, my creative juices aren't there. I can't figure it out. And so I looked at a sermon series called Refocus on Christ. Everybody's have you been to the eye doctor? Anybody been to the eye doctor? All right. And they literally If you haven't, this little machine they put in front of your eyes and they keep flipping and like, is this one better or is this one better? Is this one better? And you're like, they're no different, leave me alone. And like you stress out because you're like, I don't know. They look the same to me. And then they like make you stand on one foot and look down the hallway with one eye out. And it's, maybe not on one foot. I'm just saying. But they put the paddle in front of your eye and you have to like guess the letters. And they're like, well, if it's not letters, it's... Some of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? It's somewhat of a like whole ordeal to go to the eye doctor. And so that idea of refocusing on Christ kind of hit me because I have two fears. Well, I've got three fears in this world. Roller coasters is probably my biggest one. Yeah, because I break them and almost die on them every single time I go to a park. But the other two fears that I have is kind of weird, but I think profound in the same way. The first and foremost is I hope I don't screw up my kids. Like, that's a huge fear of me as a dad. Like, the parents in the background go, yeah, like, I hope I don't screw up my kids. I hope I give them enough information so that they can make a decision to follow Jesus. Because I want to get to heaven, and I want them there. And so my fear is I'm walking the door, and one of my kids, I didn't give them enough resources to make it to heaven. I'm pretty confident where my wife is. We lost it. There it is. But the other thing is I'm terrified of standing up here on stage and saying something that will lead you away from Christ. Like, that's my other huge fear. I have a fear of public speaking. I chose to be a youth pastor and stand up every week in front of you. But I have these fears of not doing well by you guys. Your families entrust you. You entrust your faith journey with Otterbein Church, and you guys entrust a lot of what you guys are doing with us. And I want to do so well. And so every year I do a dream board. Anybody do a dream board? You know what a dream board is? Where you sit down and you go, listen, this is what I want to accomplish this year. Well, it's good to look back and say, this is what I've done, this is what I've accomplished. But I create a dream board every year. I didn't do it yet this week. Normally I do it like in the interim, but I was totally with the boogers and the travel and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't really care anymore. And so like, I make a dream board of what I want to do with OcYth. And so we've got a lot of good things. We've got Peru trip. We've got the Ocean City trip for a lot of middle schoolers. The boys are going to the Hershey Bears. Let's see, what else? Because you guys are learning, some of you guys, the middle schoolers are doing that. You're learning or is it middle school? High school, 9 and 10, right? 9 through 10? Dean knows better than me. Anyway, they're going to the Hershey Bears game if they learn the 66 books of the Bible. We've got a ton of small group things. I know Emily is doing a fantastic job with, not that the rest aren't, but she's sending out daily messages to you guys to grow deeper in your faith. She's working in her faith. And so I just appreciate the fact that we're looking forward. And so refocusing on Christ is finally saying, hey, listen, I need to, where am I at with my relationship, and then where am I going? And so, Happy New Year. It's for me, it's a hard Sunday to talk in, because I also know that there's not going to be many of you guys. Most of you guys are like, I'm still in bed, I'll watch it later. And I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But 95% of the New Year's resolutions won't make it until February. And so a lot of us, 95% of them, won't make it till February. So those people are like, I'm going to get in shape. And then by February, they're like, round is a shape. And, the people, we make these things that we're going to go and we're going to do and we're going to succeed and we're going to grow and we're going to be deeper and we're going to read 100 books or whatever it is that you're, I'm going to make first chair in the band. So you have these things that you want to do. You're like, woo, I'm going to go do them. But sometimes you realize that it's a lot of hard work to do what you want to do. And so we quickly fall back into the comfort of the things that are easy. And so let me tell you a story of Randy. Randy was, and this is a story I've heard, so this is a secondhand story. But there was a man named Randy. He lived life. He loved life. He loved to eat. He loved, we're my food people. They're like, yes, good food. Some of us show it more than others. You'll get here eventually. Loved to eat. Yeah, your teenage body's metabolism. Yay. And so he ate what he wanted. He drank what he wanted. He lived life to the fullest, and he was a good 280 plus. Like, he was a big boy, but he's like, you know what? Rick Dusler, you guys know Rick Dusler. One of his famous phrases are like, eat healthy, die, and go see Jesus. Eat crappy, die, and go see Jesus. One of them I'm happier, the other one I'm not. And so he always jokes about eating healthy and not healthy and stuff like that. And so Randy was one of those guys that just lived life. And so not a big deal, but then Randy all of a sudden, he gets a call from his daughter, and she's like, I need a kidney. And, you know, his doctor has said, hey, you need to lose weight, you're going to die. And he's like, oh, I've tried all the diets and all the exercises. I've done all those things, but I'm just enjoying being happy. So I started a diet, lost a couple of pounds, gained it back, whatever. His daughter calls and says, hey, I need a kidney. I'm going to die. And so what ends up happening is Randy goes to his doctor. They test the family first, and Randy's the match. And Randy goes, hey, listen, I'm going to give her my kidney. And the doctor's like, no, you're not. You're way too overweight. You'll die on the table if we go in there and try to take it from you. And he's like, how long she got to live? And he's like, maybe a year. And he's like, hey, listen, if she's got a year, how much do I need to lose? And Doc's like, I'm willing to do it if you lose 100 pounds. And so the next day, Randy is like eating healthy, exercising, doing everything he possibly can to lose weight, walking every chance he gets, drinking tons of water, doing all the healthy things he's supposed to do. And after about 7 months, Randy's already lost 100 pounds. They go ahead, they do the surgery, they save the daughter's life. And so the moral of that story, and the reason why that story is so important to hear, is your wants will always fight with your musts. Randy wanted to lose weight, but he really wanted to eat good food and enjoy life. He really wanted to, go to heaven happy. But then all of a sudden a must came in place. And so that must, what ends up happening is when you're young, it's easy to put off the musts in life. You're like, I got a ton of life to live. I'm not going to die anytime soon. I've got a lot of chance to know Jesus. I've got a lot of chance for relationships. I've got forever to live. Randy started to realize that all of a sudden his wants became a must because he was going to save his daughter. And so I think that's the same as our wants to do good things, our wants to learn about Jesus, our wants to make first chair, our wants to, whatever it is that you guys have sat down and thought about this last couple of weeks, and maybe your New Year's resolution. I want to do this seems fun, but then the rubber hits the road and you go, but I really just like being lazy and playing video games. Not that all of you guys like to do that, but like there's always something. You understand what I mean. There's always something that we put in that place and we kind of slide back into like, that other thing that I really want is hard. See, we don't make changes in our lives, and the Bible talks about that a lot. We get really comfortable. Paul talks about, I do the things that I don't want to do, and I don't want to do the things that I do and need to do until they become a need or a must. And so that's why a lot of people, they don't really spend a ton of time learning about Jesus or growing closer to Christ until all of a sudden they need him. Dear God, please get me out of this bad situation. I'll follow you forever, ever, 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 ever. And then God gets them out of the bad situation, and they forget about 2 weeks later because their want was not a must. It was only a must until God got them out of the situation, or didn't, and then they blamed God. Well, God, you must not love me. And so the story of Randy is to help you understand that relationship with God, eventually you've got to take that want and move it into being a must. Because here's the crazy thing. Right now, yeah, you're young. You're awesome. Everything's going for you right now for most of you guys. You guys got like a future that is good, and you get to control it. You get to find out who you are. You still have marriage to do, maybe kids and all the cool stuff, learning to drive, jobs, all of the fun stuff. I actually just joked with one of our Rich. I was like, man, it was hard to shop for me for Christmas because now I'm in a stage of life when I want something, I just go out and get it. I'm like, oh, Christmas. Pfft. You guys are like, I'll wait for my Christmas money and my birthday money and I'll save it together. And for me, I'm like, ooh, that looks nice. Does I have enough daddy money? And so I'm in a cool stage of life. Wants and musts. And so in the next year, a lot of people come to know Jesus because they get in a place that it becomes a must. They get a diagnosis. They play in a sport that they love and they get hurt, and all of a sudden the identity that they poured into the sport or whatever now is no longer there because they can't do it anymore, and they go, well, who am I? And so it is so important over the next couple of weeks and months as you guys start anew in this new year to start realizing eventually your faith has to become a must. And why does that become a must? One of these days, you're going to be presented with the opportunity to share Jesus with a friend, with your kids one day, with the person that you date, with you're going to get in a position, and so many of you guys are like, I don't want that because I don't know enough about God. Eventually, it has to go from a want, I want to know about God, I want to know who I am, to I must know who this God is because my eternity matters on it. So to start doing things that you need, to start doing things like that, you got to be like a Marcia. So there's another story that I heard over the last couple of weeks, and Marcia, she's a little old lady. She got on her knees one day. She had a must. She had I ran out of food. I ran out of money. I'm a widow. I'm so broken. She gets down on her knees and prays, God, I'm praying for a miracle. I need some food. I need somebody to come alongside of me and love me and fill my pantries because I have a must right now. This is dire. And I don't know where to go to. And so the next morning, she hears a knock on her door, and she goes outside, and there's just groceries all over the front porch. Like, just fill her pantry, her refrigerator, food for days, weeks on end. Like, it's all there, and she goes, oh, the Lord did it, the Lord did it, the Lord did it. And out from the bush jumps her atheist neighbor, somebody that doesn't believe in Jesus, like, ha, I just proved to you God doesn't exist. I bought those. It was me. And, of course, in her excitement, she's like, the Lord did it. Oh, the Lord did it. And he goes, no, you silly old lady, I did it. I heard you praying to that silly God of yours. I heard that you were praying all kinds of prayers, you needed food, and I spent my money, I put it on my credit card just to prove to you your God doesn't exist. And she goes, oh, the Lord did it, the Lord did it, and the devil paid for it. As you start to realize and grow your relationship with God, you have to start understanding that everything you have, those gifts you got at Christmas, the school that you get to go to, I know some of you guys are like, get to go to, I hate that school. You get to go to that school. Some people don't get to go to that school. We're going to learn about that in Peru and how hard it is, mission projects and things like that. You get to have relationships with people. Many of you have parents who love and care for you, and they bring you, and some people are like, no, they don't. They ain't get me Gucci, whatever. But for the most part, many of you have at least somebody who loves and cares for you. And if that somebody's not, I do. I pray every night, don't screw these kids up. Oh, please, Lord, don't screw these kids up. You guys, I look at you kind of like my teens. I want to do well by you. And so you guys have to do that because eventually, not only is it going to be about you, but you're going to have a friend who's going to have a need. And then you're going to have a kid who's going to go, Dad, what does this all mean? Or Mom, what does this all mean? How do I know about Jesus? Why do we love him so much? And you'll start answering those questions. And if you haven't grown your relationship with Jesus, how can you share the path in which you are on unless you actually get on the path? You make it a must to learn about Jesus. You want to direly know him so that you can share him with others. And so eventually you have to start seeing the things in this world as God's always working and he's always moving and he's always doing things. And so over the next couple of weeks and months as you guys do your New Year's resolution, I really, really hope that God is working, as this next slide says. Do you see everything as God working for you or against you? Some people think that God's working against them because he's not a genie in the lamp. We watched Aladdin last night with the kids. Terrified my 2-year-old, so we will not do that again. But you look at God like a genie in the lamp where he does your bidding? Or are you like Marcia, who says, God, you're in charge. God, you hear my prayers. You use whatever resources that are out there to help and grow me so that I can do your will. Not so that he can do for you like a genie. Is he working for you or against you? Did you not get that boyfriend and girlfriend this year or last year? Did they break up with you? And can you look back and go, wow, that probably was pretty good for me? Do you see God working? And so eventually you got to see God working. Eventually you got to see the fact that God is for you. Eventually you have to move God into a must situation and not just a want. I kind of want to know more about Jesus. I kind of want to be in a relationship. Last couple weeks ago, I had a really great conversation with some of the middle school girls about honoring authority. You guys remember this conversation? Came in and they're like, oh, why do we have to honor authority? See, the crazy thing about honoring authority, right now you got a lot of people telling you what to do. It's the way of life. You guys have teachers that set the rules, parents that set the rules, worship leaders that set rules. Like, you guys have a lot of rules that you need to follow. And here's the crazy thing about that. The best leaders are the best people who spent time and time. There's a phrase that somebody told me that said, do you know the difference between a professional and an amateur? A professional or an amateur will do it only until they can get it right. A professional will do it until they can't get it wrong. For you guys to be good moms and dads, bosses, teachers, whatever you choose for your careers and professions, whatever you choose to be as an adult and who God created you to be, eventually you guys got to learn that you guys got to do the other things really, 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 really well. You have to follow authority so that you can learn how to be authority. And you got to get it really, really good so that you don't get it wrong. And yes, that means cleaning up your room. Yes, that means taking care of your schoolwork. Yes, that means listening to your teachers, because one day you will be that. And if you can't do it, don't expect to teach it. And so in this next year, my hope is if you don't expect to be a person that God provides you a ton of blessings of, like people that want to ask you questions about your faith, want to go deeper with your faith, want to ask you questions about your testimony, share baptism. Don't expect God to bless you in those areas if you are not willing to learn and make it a want. Do you want to know Jesus' heart? Do you want to know how God designed you? Do you want to know the greatness that he can do? Do you want to know how good he can be? Do you want to know that? Or do you need to know that? I need daily to know that. God, am I doing right with my kids? God, am I doing right with my youth group? God, am I doing right by you? Am I honoring you with what I'm doing? Daily. I don't want to be 95% that fall off. I want to make that part of my everyday life. And so my hope is some of you in this new year figure that out and start doing that with devotions, prayer time, learning. Just do silly Bible. There's like Ollie's has Bible trivia cards for like $1. I'll buy you a pack if you need to. And just have fun with them. Those stories are meant to guide you and help you grow up into the amazing men and women I know that you're going to be. I know that you're going to be if you stay close to him. Make sense? All right, Happy New Year's, everybody. It's a New Year's. What's going to be important for you in this next year? I hope Jesus is part of that story, including, sports and games and technology and the things that you love. But I hope Jesus is the top of the list. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for these students. Thank you for a new year. I pray for each and every one of them that are here, but also the ones that are not here, those that are sick, those are that need more sleep because of the New Year's. I pray for the hearts of each one of these students. I pray that your Spirit does well in them, and I pray that they go from not wanting you, but needing you. I pray that they have that urgency to change their lives in a way that chases after you and who you've created them to be. We ask this all in Jesus' name, and all God's people said,